Guten Tag. Hello, everyone. My name is Nikolai. I'm Project Manager International Business in SIBB, and I'm going to moderate this event today. My colleague Vladislav is also here with us, and he is ready to help everyone with questions in the chat. For those who haven't heard about SIBB before, we are the regional digital business association. We unite more than 270 small and medium IT enterprises, and we are involved in different municipal and federal projects, including scientific projects. We have our own startup accelerator, and of course, international ones. And one of these international projects is DeepTechHub Russia, and this project is co-financed by Berlin Senate, Department for Economics, Energy, and Public Enterprises. And the goal of our project is to accelerate the growth of Berlin deep tech businesses with great ideas that require a lot of technology, and help them to grow and get onto the Russian market. And in the scope of this project, we run today's session. And the goal of our information session today is to introduce the opportunities of Moscow for German IT businesses. And for that reason, we invited representatives of innovative and economic structures of Russia and Moscow. With all that, let me introduce our special guest today for welcome words. So let me introduce you, Dr. Sergey Mikhailovich Nikitin, Chief Representation of the Chamber of Commerce and Industry of Russian Federation in Germany. Sergey Mikhailovich, stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Liebe Damen und Herren, sehr geehrte Teilnehmer der Veranstaltung, ich freue mich, in diesem Jahr wieder zusammen mit Ihnen zu kommen. Wenn Sie erlauben, ich spreche ein paar Worte in Deutsch und Russisch, aber ganz kurz. Дорогие участники мероприятия, спасибо большое. Рад в этом году вновь с вами встретиться. Если позволите, я начну пару слов на немецком и на русском, на более привычном мне, но зато скажу очень коротко, с тем, чтобы потом вернуться только к английскому языку. Das Projekt DeepTechHub läuft schon seit mehr als einem Jahr, und das waren sehr viele Formate, praxisorientierte Formate für Themen Logistik, Cybersecurity, Smart City und vieles mehr. Und jedes Mal veranstalten wir solche Treffen mit Unterstützung von der regionalen Kammer Russland. Und diesmal haben wir speziell regionale Kammer Moskau, der größte Kammer Russlands und besonders reich an IT-Unternehmen geschmückte Kammer, die auch helfen kann, deutsche Unternehmen Fuß zu fassen in Russland insgesamt. Мы уже более полгода ведем этот проект. Был целый ряд встреч, форматов, посвященных конкретным тематикам, и cybersecurity, и cybersecurity, и Smart City, и многим другим. И всякий раз эти тематические встречи мы проводили при поддержке региональных торгово-промышленных палат, территориальных торгово-промышленных палат. И сегодня я очень рад, что с нами Московская торгово-промышленная палата. Здесь вы найдете весь букет тематический, очень сильное комьюнити IT-предприятий, которые помогут наверняка, в том числе немецким предприятиям, найти себя в России. И, может быть, родятся новые Projekte после этого общения. Ich freue mich sehr, dass heute ist auch Handelsindustriekammer Moskau an der Leitung ist. Kammer feiert 30. Jahrestag, und es ist bemerkenswert, dass Kammer hat internationale Aktivitäten. Diese junge Kammer, zwar eine Vorgeschichte, selbstverständlich, aber in der neuesten Zeit ist sie 30 Jahre alt, hat den ersten Business-Trip gemacht nach Deutschland, und es wiederholt sich in 30 Jahren wieder. Das ist schon nicht das erste. Immer wieder kommt Kammer in Kontakt zu deutschen Firmen und freuen, dass die Tradition wird weitergeleitet. Сегодня мы рады, что торгово-промышленная палата открывает сегодняшнюю нашу сессию. Палата 30 лет празднует. Это замечательно, мы поздравляем с этим юбилеем. Хотя можно сказать, что это малая дата, была и большая, там предыстория большая, не будем сейчас входить глубоко, но последние 30 лет палата действительно очень много сделала для того, чтобы укрепить связи с немецкими предприятиями. Сурен, я очень рад, что ты участвуешь сегодня. Желаю всем хорошего общения. После представления, презентации у вас появится возможность друг с другом еще познакомиться. Николай, наверное, пояснит, как это будет сделано. И хочу подтвердить свою готовность поддерживать все совместные проекты, на какой бы территории ни происходили. Я думаю, это взаимно полезно. Всего вам доброго, успеха. Alles Gute, viel Erfolg für die heutige Veranstaltung. Nikolai, ich gebe das zurück.
Thank you very much for your words, Sergey. And with all that, let me provide a short agenda. So we are going to hear three really great reports about what's going in Moscow and how Moscow could help German businesses to grow and succeed. During these presentations, you're invited to ask questions in the chat, and we will leave some time after each presentation for the speaker to answer some of these questions. And after all three presentations, we will have 10-15 minutes networking round in breakout sessions, and I will explain it further after the presentations. So that, let me invite our first speaker today. Let me introduce Suren Vardanyan, Vice President, Moscow Chamber of Commerce and Industry, with a presentation on topic chances for international business in the Moscow market, practical aspects. Suren, stage is yours.
Thank you everybody for calling us to make this presentation in this distinguished auditory, and I'm very interested to continue our cooperation with German companies. So everybody knows that cooperation between Russia, between Moscow and Germany is one of the special direction between our business societies, and not only business societies, but also between our governments. So some chances for international business on the Moscow market. What I want to say, I will try to make short report asking you what does it mean when we are speaking about Moscow market? What kind of support and what kind of restrictions for foreign investors? What kind of cooperation can we do, and how it is controlled, and what Moscow Chamber of Commerce and Industry can do for you when you will come to the Moscow market. So, some words about Moscow. For your understanding, Moscow is the biggest city in Europe. So we have now about 13 million inhabitants. And I can say one thing also, that in Moscow, we have every day more than 20 million people which are living, working, or making their touristic deals. So, and one of the important things, if we are speaking about IT companies, and if we are speaking about high technology companies, Moscow is the only city in Europe where higher education have more than 57% of people. So it's very important thing when you are looking for your specialist. And somewhat that Moscow is in the top of the biggest cities economy in the world, and one of the biggest consumer markets in Europe. I will not pay attention for everything that you have on your screen, but the thing that Moscow shares more than 20% of Russian GDP is very important. It's very important. And that Moscow is in the rank of cities.
Excuse me, Suren, could you please restart the screen? It looks like the slides are frozen. And dear Suren,
let's do it.
Do you see my screen at the moment?
Okay, I see you. Yeah. I see your screen. Okay.
So let me overtake it.
Yes, let's do it.
So you have been on the second screen, I guess.
Okay. One more. No, one more. Next one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay, this one. Yes. I want to emphasize that Moscow is one of the biggest consumer markets in Europe, and it's going in the top 3. So next one. I will pay your attention for that Moscow gives more than 20% of Moscow shares in the Russian GDP. It's a very important figure. And for your understanding also, through Moscow is going more than 40% of all tradings and cooperation links. Next one. So we have a very good organized infrastructure for supporting high technology companies. This slide shows you and take your attention for the thing that we have in Moscow special economic zone, which is called Technopolis Moscow. And there are special conditions for the companies which are localizing their process in the Technopolis of Moscow. And it's not only this one, it's a government Technopolis, of course, and we have a special prices for lending, for community goods and everything which you need for organizing your business and your factory. But we have also in Moscow more than 40 different technoparks, and most of them, 80% of them, are private. And you can also cooperate with private technoparks. Next one. So what we can say about the support for investors? So you can see the German investments are one of the biggest investments in Moscow. It's more than 8 billion euros. And you can see that it is more than 30,000 working places. I want to emphasize with you. And we have different jurisdictional forms for investing contracts. It's investment agreements, it's offset agreements, it's life cycle contracts, and we have also a new law about the investment protections, and more than 50 different different supports and measures for supporting startup of SMEs. I want to make attention for offset agreements. What does it mean? If you localize your factory in Moscow and your investment is more than about 10 million euros, and you are starting to produce the goods in which Moscow government, in which the government have a need, you will have a contract with the Moscow, that Moscow will buy everything which you produce about 10 years. So you have a very stable business plan of developing in the city. It is very important. Next one. What we can say about localization? We have a special program which is supported by the law of localization, and we have a special supporting measures for the products which are called made in Russia. You can take part in all tenders and concurses and have priority position during these tenders. Next one. Of course, about the restrictions, I think the same are in Germany, but you have restrictions to invest in a special strategic types of businesses, like nuclear, military, space, production of encryptions of IT systems. So I think it's the same, and the same Russian government are defending these businesses from investments from foreign states. Next one. What we see like risks now. First of all, it's the pandemic corona, its sanctions, and what is going on in geopolitics. What we try to do, we try to speak and we try to organize economic process, economic cooperation, because we have a very good and very perspective history of our cooperation between Russia and Germany. And we are sure that you will have a great support from the Moscow government and Moscow business society if you will come to our market. Next slide. So practice advances for newcomers. I think you know, everybody know that better wants to see than 100 times to hear. So we will be very glad to see you in Moscow and explain you and show you everything what you need if you want to localize or you want to invest in some projects in Moscow. Of course, we are sure that cooperation between European Union and Eurasian Economic Union are one of the perspective directions of economical cooperation between Russia and Germany. Next slide. I want to take your attention for this special platform. It's a Russian government platform, special for foreign businesses. It's first of all, you can read it in different languages. You can read in English, you can get it in Germany, and you can understand what are the conditions for investing or for coming to Russian market. It's a special platform which is organized by the Ministry of Industry and Trade of Russian Federation. So it's like a guide for everybody who is coming to Russian market. And you can take information about all steps which you need to do if you will come to the market. And you can read also about special general provisions for being and localizing in Moscow. Next slide, please. The same, but speaking about Moscow, I want to say the same, but speaking about Moscow, we have a special site, Invest in Moscow. You can look it also, and you will read there everything about conditions of investing in Moscow. And if we are speaking about our chamber, about our possibilities to support your presenting in the Moscow market, I want to emphasize that Moscow Chamber of Commerce and Industry is working in the same system like it is in Germany. Only one thing, we have non-compulsory membership. So we are, for our opinion, we are very close to a business society because we are living in their conditions, and we are trying to do everything that the companies will come to us and be our members. We do the same services like certification of origin, localized certification. We do business events and make to B2B negotiations. We have a special business market platform which allows us to cooperate with different companies, not only in Moscow, but also in other regions of Russia. We do something like sightseeing of the companies when we are coming to Russian market. We are verification of counterparties, so we can say, is the company with whom you want to cooperate legal, and if the company has all possibilities to be your real partner. So you can read it in some services which we do, including visa support for the foreigners who are coming to our state. Next slide, please. So you have my telephone here and my email. You can write all questions. You can do it in German, you can do it in English, how you want. And we will answer you or make you some directions where to see some information, maybe before you're coming to Moscow. And of course, if you will come to our state, we will organize your meetings with also technoparks or technopolicies or Moscow companies which are ready or are potential partners for your business. Thank you for your attention, and sorry for technical problems which has during my invitation.
Yes, Suren, thank you very much. And
thank you also. Thank you.
The presentation was very insightful, I think. And actually, from my side, I would like to ask, so you mentioned that everything is included in one fee. So like all this legal and visa support means that you forward to like lawyers and visa officers, or you have this services in-house? Might be interesting.
In-house. With the support is in-house, and we are doing that with we are accrediting in a special state organization, so we do it in our in-house. Including Germany, we can write a special letters which allowed you to give business visa.
That's great. In the meantime, I'd like to ask our attendants, do you have any questions to Suren you would like to ask? Okay. And I guess we could move further.
You can write the questions and we will answer them.
Yeah. You can also raise your hands if you want, and I will unmute you, and you could ask your question. I have one question in. Yeah. Are the supports only available for people who come from Germany?
One more.
There's a question, is there support available only for people who are from Germany?
No. We do it for everybody, but when we were speaking about German companies, we have a great history for cooperation. And we have here also the partners, German companies with whom we cooperate in different spheres. And also we cooperate very good with the presentation of German chambers here. It's German-Russian external chamber, trade chamber, with whom we cooperate in different themes like external affairs, like localization, or we are speaking about some manufacturing things. So, or supporting small and medium enterprises. So it's not only for Germans, it's services which we do for everybody who is coming to Russia.
We have another question from Florian Weber. How many German startups do you have in Moscow now, approximately?
It's approximately 20 projects. Not 20, 200 projects. You see it at my presentation. It's about 200 projects which are realizing in Moscow.
Okay, thank you. Do you have any more questions? Okay, there's another question. So is the support that you provide is only for companies that are already established, or I guess registered in this sense, or do you also support ideas?
The list of these supporters is for the companies which are already registered in Moscow, which are localizing in Moscow, which start to be residents of Moscow. But we consult everybody. We consult, of course, everybody who has an idea to come to the Moscow market.
In the meantime, I would like to ask, is it possible to leave maybe a bit later in the chat the link for this platform, this platform?
Yes, of course. We will do it. We will do it.
Yeah. Okay, dear Suren, thank you very much for the presentation and answering Tan's questions. And I guess we could move further. And let me find Svetlana. Svetlana, are you here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, great. Yeah, you are pinned. So, yeah, everyone, let me introduce you Svetlana Urnysheva. Svetlana is the head of Innovations Piloting Program in Moscow Agency of Innovations. And Svetlana is going to present us with pilot studies in Moscow for German deep tech.
Thank you so much.
Stage is yours.
Thanks. I'm glad to represent you international testing of high-tech solution in Moscow. First of all, I want to say that there are a lot of research and development organization in Moscow, and it's about 22% all over of Russia, located exactly in Moscow. It's about 30% of total number in the Russian Federation of personnel. So the Moscow today is international ratings, and Mr. Vardanyan told about this, that we have a lot of first and third places in a lot of ratings of innovation. So right now, Moscow Agency of Innovation is an institute of Moscow innovatory development and a center for testing and promotion of advanced development and technologies. So 2 years ago, Moscow government spent about 212 billion rubles. It's about 2.5 billion euros on the innovative purchasing. Last year, it's about 100 billion rubles, and it's not enough. So we make account as purchasing till some months. Pilot testing program of innovation in Moscow exists about 2 years, and right now we have 150 pilot sites. It's a commercial corporation and government organization which are ready to test in innovation on their territories. It's not about Moscow or Russian innovation, it's about innovation all over the world. So they are ready to test, and after that they can purchase there. Today we finished over 160 pilot testing in different industries and areas. Of course, we have some benefits for both sides. So first of all, it's for innovator, it's the authors of innovation solutions. Information support, because all activities in pilot testing published in presses, internet resources, and we make a video on TV. We take opportunity to meet potential consumer and customers, and take opportunity to innovate. Wait a minute, help me please, to prove, oh, thank you so much, excuse me, to prove to their potential customers that their solution is good and they can buy. So exactly, we have an expert evaluation of the project and recommendation for finalizing and improvements. Information support can get the site hour too. So first of all, we make a scouting of relevant technologies for special tasks of our pilot sites. They can testing product before purchasing. And of course, we try and believe that if the huge commercial companies and government organization will use innovation, they can really improving their business efficiency. Before I said that we have a lot of industries and direction. So there are 80 industry direction, and all kinds of innovation can find their direction. So it's retail, banks, fintech, food tech, safety. We have a lot of sites and innovations in healthcare, IT, of course, tourism, ecology, and etc. About 2 years, we work in Russia and in Moscow. But in summer of last year, we decided that we must expand in the geography of our pilot testing program. The process of organization of international testing is very simple. First of all, innovator, our foreign partners, fill out an application for participation in international testing. After that, the solution will be checked by Moscow agency, because we are the operator in Moscow of this pilot testing program. And we check this solution for? First of all, it's a scale of innovation, technology novelty, of course, customers' benefits, potential for implementation, and the fifth is expected effects for Moscow when this innovation will be integration on Moscow infrastructure. After that, we make a matching with our test site between innovator and commercial companies or government organization. So with foreign partner, we hold pitch sessions and meetings. After that, we signed an agreement by all participants of international testing. So they run Moscow Agency of Innovation, innovator, pilot site, and if it needs the foreign partner. Moscow Agency of Innovation coordinates the testing process in Moscow, and our foreign partners help us abroad. At the end, based on the results of testing, a site prepares a report. Our company with the foreign partner, we make a final conclusion with recommendations, and an innovator receives a diploma in case of achievement of all performance indicators with the recommendation and etc. There are some examples of solutions successfully tested in Moscow. As I said earlier, before, we have a lot of solutions with IT and in healthcare. So this is the company Avacargo, which have a innovation solutions, highly automatic logistics service for medical institutes. We have this test last year, and it was very successful. So the company O.Vision, this company have a lot of solutions, and one of them is contactless access system with face recognition technology and with measuring temperature. It's very necessary in company where a lot of quests, partners, and it will be very necessary in a high building with their safety. So drone-based station called Hive. It's a robotic arm in the station, and it's changed the drone's battery, and the drone can do the work all the time, 24 full cycles. In Moscow, we have the government organization. It's called Smart City. And this company, it's like innovation polygon for IT innovation, 5G, and all about information technologies. So one of the company called Mustcom have had a pilot testing with this polygon and wireless optical communication for 5G networks. So the specific of this solution is that it can work when the person or fiber optic cable is not possible. But this solution can make it works. One of our solution from healthcare is glove Anika. The specific of this innovation is that It has biofeedback designed to restore the mobility of fingers and hands in case of neurological diseases or after injuries. We already have an example of international testing. We have partners in Kazakhstan and South Korea. So the first international testing was in Kazakhstan in December 2029. The company Urnysheva. Our foreign partner was and is Almaty Digitalization Department. It's a government company which help us to find sites, and right now they try to find a good innovation solution for our technical tasks. So I want to say that we are ready to partnership. We'll be very glad to see in our program German innovation companies, and I think that we can help to take their place in Moscow and Russian innovation market. Thank you so much. If you have a question, I'm ready to answer.
And Svetlana, thank you very much for the presentation. At this moment, we have one question from Nikolai Kolesnikov. In what period were the 160 tests done?
Repeat, please, the last
in what period were the 160 tests done? So how much did it take you to make this 160 projects, pilot projects?
It's about 2 years.
And for how long actually this program? It also exists for 2 years right now, right? I have one more question from my side. So let's say if German deep tech company applies today, how much work is expected, or how much of the pilot project work they could do while they are still in Germany? So before making this final solution of stepping on Moscow ground, what could they do just being in Germany?
As I understood correctly, first of all, they can do pilot testing as they want. The period of this pilot testing will be 1 month, 3 months, or half year. It does not matter for us. It's between the sites and innovation solution. So right now, foreign company does not should to locate it and have the company in Moscow. They can be in German and testing their product in Moscow. I answer question or not?
That was a great answer. In the meantime, I try to encourage audience to ask more questions, because here is outstanding opportunity to try your deep tech project in Moscow. And I see here deep tech businesses in our audience. So guys, if you have any questions of how to make your pilot study in Russia, please use the chance to ask directly. Maybe in the meantime, oh, I see one. Does the testing in Russia make commitments for the company? I guess the question is there any financial, like which financial commitment or any other sort of commitment is expected from company when they are going to try the solution in Russia?
I don't understand this question.
Dear Mehdi, could you try to rewrite the question? In the meantime, Svetlana, could you please show numbers again? There was a slide with number of projects. Okay, pilot testing innovation.
Pilot tests, yes. Maybe about industry directions.
Yes.
What kind of slide?
In industry directions. Okay, I was asked to explain the question in Russian language.
Okay, maybe it will be easy to
I
understand.
don't understand the question itself. I guess what Mehdi
По-моему,
means.
вопрос связан только с
Да,
тем, есть
Василий
ли налагаются ли какие-то обязательства на компании иностранные, которые проводят пилотные тестирования в Москве.
No.
Yes, thank you very much. There are no obligations.
No special commitments.
No
No
special.
commitments.
Yes,
at all.
I want to represent my colleague, of course, it's Medvedenko Vasil Vasilich. He is a coordinator of international pilot testing program too. It's my colleague.
Yeah.
Vasil Vasilich, thank you so much.
Yes, and if you let me, I would like to add two phrases. So
Yes.
the
Thank
core sense of this new program of pilot testing is there are no commitments, no official obligations of business marriages. The company is absolutely free to present as the company is, or together with some partner from Russia. Second variant is simpler. It will simplify a lot of organizational question for foreign company, because the pilot testing program is Moscow program, the program of Moscow city government. You understand? Program based on speaking frankly, Moscow city budget. That's why the partnership of tandem with some Moscow partner, it's not necessary, but it will simplify the conditions of participation and the conditions of final stage of program, the conclusions, etc., etc., etc. But it's up to the company wishing to test their innovative solutions in Moscow together with some Moscow company or alone. That's in any case, if alone, this foreign company needs a registration in Moscow. I don't mean, and we don't mean a special representation office, something serious, etc. But you need officially be registered in Moscow business files, let's call it like that, like Moscow Chamber of Commerce, etc., etc., etc.
Yes, I'm agree and support my colleague. So all correct. Yes.
Great, Vasily, thank you very much. I would just like to add that if there are any more individual questions to Moscow GC innovations, there will be a chance to ask them also in the during the breakout networking session.
If you might, can I send in chat this presentation and our contact?
Yes, please. I would also appreciate if you send a link with the application form. I guess it's also very interesting for our attendance.
Thank you so much.
Okay, in the meantime, yeah, thank you. And let's move with our third speaker. Okay, dear Hannes, let me pin you.
Please.
Okay. Okay, now you're on the big screen.
That's nice.
So let me introduce Hannes Farlock, Managing Director of DEinternational. And Hannes will tell us today about the sourcing and beyond in Russia for German IT companies or for German IT business. Yeah, I was asked that if it's possible that presentation would be held in German. So yeah, it's possible. I also know that slides are in English, so we will be fine. Okay, and yeah, Hannes, please, stage is yours.
Yeah, thank you so much. I'm very happy to be here this almost afternoon in Moscow together with you out of several reasons. One is that I can now switch to German if you guys don't mind. Ja, also schönen guten Nachmittag nach Berlin und nach Moskau, aus Moskau. Genau, mein Name ist Hannes Farlock. Ich repräsentiere hier die deutsch-russische Auslandshandelskammer. 2 Sätze zu uns. Wir sind eine der größten Auslandshandelskammern im weltweiten Netzwerk an 2 Standorten. Uns gibt es in Moskau und in St. Petersburg. Und ich als Repräsentant der Dienstleistungsgesellschaft der AHK, wir helfen, grob gesagt, vor allem deutschen Firmen auf den russischen Markt, aber auch immer mehr russischen Firmen in die Auslandsmärkte, vor allem natürlich nach Deutschland. Und uns bewegen zunehmend digitale Themen. Ja, zum Beispiel im Bereich Markteinstieg, immer wichtiger das Thema E-Commerce zum Beispiel. Ja, aber auch, und deswegen freue ich mich ganz besonders, heute hier zu sein, das Thema Sourcing. Ja, also das merken wir wirklich seit einem Jahr, dass wir mehr und mehr Anfragen bekommen von deutschen Firmen, aber nicht nur von deutschen Firmen, von europäischen Firmen, die eben auf der Suche sind, vor allem auf der Suche nach IT-Dienstleistungen. Persönlich freut es mich, heute hier zu sein, ja, weil wir als Kammer quasi unser Ziel, wir sind natürlich in Kontakt mit vielen Großunternehmen, aber unser Ziel ist schon und unsere Aufgabe, dass wir kleinen und mittelständischen Unternehmen vor allem helfen auch als Mitgliederorganisation hier in Russland. Und da sind wir natürlich von den Themen relativ breit unterwegs. Das heißt, im Prinzip an uns kann sich jeder wenden. Und wir haben auch, sage ich mal, eine ganz gute Expertise, aber sind in manchen Bereichen dann eben doch nicht ganz die Experten. Jetzt ist es aber so, dass ich vor meiner Tätigkeit bei der AHK lange bei einer IT-Firma tätig war, die sich genau um das Thema gekümmert hat, ja, und zwar um das Thema Nearshoring in Osteuropa. Ich habe für eine dänische Firma gearbeitet, damals eine der größten in Osteuropa, Zyklum heißt die. Und da war ich vor allem in der Ukraine und in Belarus tätig. Und was ich gemacht habe, im Prinzip 6 Jahre lang, ich habe Mittelständler beraten, wie sie am besten IT-Teams bauen können in Osteuropa. Ja, deswegen habe ich da so ein bisschen einen Einblick und einige Aspekte davon möchte ich Ihnen heute näher bringen. Es gibt sicherlich verschiedene Modelle, werden wir vielleicht nicht auf alle eingehen können. Aber wenn wir über das Thema Sourcing sprechen, das Erste, was natürlich in den Kopf kommt, ist dieses klassische IT-Projekt Outsourcing. Das heißt, wenn Sie wirklich einfach ja, Projekte outsourcen, sich einen Partner suchen vor Ort. Ein Thema, was allerdings auch immer wichtiger wird, und ich glaube, ich habe auch einige Kollegen, zumindest den Herrn Aaron Röschke gesehen von der IHK Düsseldorf, einen sehr guten Kollegen von uns im Kompetenzzentrum Russland, ist Fachkräftezuwanderung. Und das ist sicherlich auch ein Trend, der ist vielleicht für Russland nicht ganz so schön, wenn Fachkräfte auswandern, aber das ist sicherlich auch für einige Unternehmen ein Thema, weil deutsche Unternehmen, denke ich mal, immer noch ein bisschen konservativ sind im Vergleich zu anderen. Ich habe damals viel mit Schweizer Firmen, mit österreichischen Firmen gearbeitet. Da sind die Vorbehalte nicht so groß, aber in Deutschland ist es immer noch so, IT auszulagern ist was, wo man denkt, schwierig. Ja, man gibt da Verantwortung aus der Hand, verliert vielleicht ein bisschen Kontrolle. Deswegen das auch ein Thema, wo auch die IHKs durchaus unterstützen und wo es durchaus ja, einen fluiden Austausch gibt, ja, von Russland in Richtung Europa, in Richtung Amerika. Und das andere Thema, das dritte Thema ist sicherlich der Bereich Nearshoring, kennen vielleicht auch einige unter dem Stichwort Outstaffing. Das ist übrigens auch ein Thema, was die AHK bearbeitet, auch die Kollegen in St. Petersburg. Ja, also St. Petersburg und Moskau, würde ich sagen, so die IT-Hotspots in Russland, wo wir auch Firmen unterstützen, da entsprechende Partner zu finden. Also wenn da Fragen sind, wir haben ja auch eine Q&A-Session. Ich habe auch noch einige Kollegen, die hier dabei sind. Ich sehe den Herrn Thomas Neumann zum Beispiel. Das ist unser Kollege, der kümmert sich um Startups in Deutschland. Ich sehe Dimitri Kononenko, ist unser Kollege im Bereich Digitalisierung. Wir haben eine Initiative in der AHK, die nennt sich German-Russian Initiative for Digitalization, die die besten Seiten quasi zusammenbringt der deutschen und der russischen IT-Industrie. Er ist auch vor Ort heute. Egal welches Modell wir wählen, ja, das Thema ist, wir brauchen Ressourcen und da gibt es natürlich Einflussfaktoren. Es gibt, sage ich mal, das Thema Verfügbarkeit, Qualifikation, da kann ich sicherlich was dazu sagen. Es gibt das Thema Kosten, das ist sicherlich ein Thema, aber ich glaube, das Thema Kosten...
we got several requests. Unfortunately, attendants do not understand the information and they also don't see slides. So if it's possible either to show slides or switch to English, we would appreciate that.
Oh, sure. Well, I don't have slides yet, but I will show them in a second. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Just
stay tuned. I want to focus on me now. No, it's okay.
Sorry for interruption.
I will show them in a second. So basically what I said, there is different influence factors actually that need to be considered when you consider sourcing abroad, which is definitely availability, yeah, and costs. But what I mentioned in my last sentence was that costs are less and less important, because if there is no availability, then there is, of course, concessions to be made in terms of costs. Then, of course, we have soft factors. This is also clear. Yeah, there is time difference, intercultural differences, and a huge topic is productivity. Yeah, and with this, I want to switch to my presentation and talk a bit about Russia and specifically about Moscow and its particularities. Also dann gehen wir wieder auf Deutsch. Ich habe hier eine Übersicht mitgebracht, ganz generell, wo steht Russland sozusagen im internationalen Vergleich, wenn ich mal gucke, was, sage ich mal, die digitale Evolution anbetrifft. Das sehen wir hier als Breakout Economy. Ja, das heißt, da ist großes Potenzial und es sind auch die Länder, die sich relativ dynamisch entwickeln. Und das heißt auch in Bezug auf Sourcing, ich habe immer noch eine Verfügbarkeit und die Preise gehen noch nicht ganz durch die Decke und es gibt eine Innovationskraft im Markt, wobei natürlich das Problem der Finanzierung relativ immanent ist, aber deswegen sucht man ja auch Finanzierung von außerhalb. Ja, ich habe es, wie schon angedeutet, aufgeteilt in verschiedene Themen hier. Erstens Sourcing of Talent, ja, also das wäre so klassisches Outstuffing, Nearshoring, dann Sourcing of Software. Was tut der Staat? Wie unterstützt der Staat? Und wie unterstützen Initiativen zum Beispiel wie die AHK? Naja, wenn man sich jetzt anguckt, wie ist die Verfügbarkeit von IT-Ressourcen, kann man wirklich sagen, Russland ist natürlich das größte Land der Erde. Russland traditionell ist einfach auch sehr stark, ja, in allen Naturwissenschaften. Es ist einfach so, es ist ein Erbe der Sowjetzeit. Das war auch eins der Top-Argumente für mich immer im Verkauf, zu sagen, die ganz schwierigen Jobs in der Softwareentwicklung, die liegen wirklich viel bei russischen, bei belarussischen, bei ukrainischen Entwicklern. Warum? Weil die Ausbildung hier sehr breit gefächert ist. Ja? Und die Leute eine sehr breite Basis haben. Meistens haben die Entwickler auch eine sehr breite Basis von Technologien, haben ein sehr tiefes Verständnis von Softwarearchitekturen, ja, denken so ein bisschen out of the box. Und das haben wir vor allem oft gesehen, wenn man das vergleicht zum Beispiel mit Asien, dass da ganz andere Produktivitätsraten auch dahinter stehen. Und hier sieht man eben auch eine Verfügbarkeit. Die Verfügbarkeit ist nicht nur in Moskau und in St. Petersburg gegeben, sondern erstreckt sich auch auf die Regionen. Und was wir später sehen, es wird auch, also es entstehen immer mehr Studiengänge zum Beispiel. Ja, der Staat legt einfach mehr Wert darauf, die Universitäten auch besser zu unterstützen. und auch auszurüsten. Wir haben mittlerweile 10 Top-Universitäten, auch im Forbes-Ranking, die sich eben mit solchen Themen beschäftigen, die eine sehr gute technische Ausbildung den Studenten angedeihen lassen, sehr praxisbezogen auch. Ja, und da ist wirklich eine sehr breite Basis an neuem Human Capital, das jedes Jahr eben in den Markt kommt. Das wird auch dadurch bewiesen, dass russische Entwickler hier an allen möglichen Championships teilnehmen und da wirklich immer ganz vorne mit dabei sind, auch im Bereich Mathematik, Physik, was natürlich auch bei gerade sehr technologiegetriebenen Startups immer eine große Rolle spielt, dass man wirklich Leute hat, die quasi sehr breit aufgestellt sind und vor allem auch, wenn man irgendwann skalieren will, am Anfang das Projekt eben so aufstellen, dass man auch wirklich breit denken kann, ja, und nicht alles wieder neu definieren muss, wenn das mal wächst. Dann zum Thema Outsourcing of Software, also das klassische Outsourcing ist sicherlich ein Bereich, der sehr stark wächst. Man hat eine kleine Delle gesehen, vor allem was den Export betrifft, in 2020, aber die Wachstumsraten sprechen wirklich für sich. Das heißt, wir haben vor allem in den großen Städten viele Unternehmen, die vor allem sich auf den Export fokussieren. Ist natürlich auch ein lukratives Geschäft, weil man eben auch in Dollar oder in Euro auch figuriert. Und der Rubel gerade auch relativ schwach ist, das heißt, es ist auch relativ interessant von der Kostenseite. Ja. Und da passiert relativ viel. Wenn wir mal ein Slide weiter gucken. Russland, sage ich mal, global gesehen, versucht seine Exporte zu diversifizieren und nimmt es wirklich sehr ernst. Da ist auch sehr viel Geld im Spiel. Das heißt, man will auch wegkommen von einem reinen Rohstoff exportierenden Land hin zu mehr Wertschöpfung. Und das sieht man eben auch im Bereich Software. Das sieht man auch in anderen Bereichen, chemische Erzeugnisse, Maschinenanlagen. Aber Software ist da sicherlich ein Bereich, der in Russland, aber zum Beispiel auch Ukraine, Belarus, also einfach sehr, sehr wichtig ist. Ja, ja, was gibt es für Player? Es gibt im Endeffekt wirklich viele Player. Ich bin immer wieder erstaunt, wenn man dann Sachen hört, die man eigentlich so gar nicht vermutet, aber eigentlich alle Top-Tech-Konzerne sind hier in der Region vertreten, sage ich mal. Einige sprechen vielleicht nicht drüber, weiß man nicht, aber you name it, ja. Google hat ein großes Entwicklungszentrum zum Beispiel auch. Und wenn man jetzt sich auf die deutsche Wirtschaft konzentriert, wir haben hier das SAP Innovation Lab zum Beispiel, wir haben die Deutsche Bank hier in Moskau mit einem großen Technology Center und wir haben die Telekom mit ihren IT-Solutions am Standort St. Petersburg. Das sind, glaube ich, über 2000 Entwickler, die da tätig sind und natürlich ganz viele Mittelständler und natürlich auch viele Firmen, die mit Outsourcing-Partnern arbeiten. Ja, wir haben einige der größten Outsourcing-Firmen hier, EPAM zum Beispiel, Luxoft, you name it, ja, die haben natürlich auch entsprechende Kunden. Deutschland wird als Markt immer wichtiger, das sieht man auch. Noch ist natürlich also Amerika, natürlich noch der Vorreiter, aber ich glaube, wir sind mittlerweile bei über einem Fünftel der Exporte, die auch wirklich nach Deutschland gehen, aus Russland im Bereich Software. Ja, ich würde sagen, Moskau und St. Petersburg, entweder sie ergänzen sich oder sie stehen im Wettbewerb. Jedenfalls, wenn man jetzt sich das Thema Software anguckt, sind das natürlich die beiden Hauptstädte. Ja, wobei man natürlich sagen muss, dass die Krise und Corona das Ganze ein bisschen auch entzerrt hat. Also das ist wirklich, kann man ja auch in Deutschland beobachten vielleicht, wo man jetzt hört, dass viele auch in den Regionen, auch um Berlin quasi, Brandenburg ist schon fast ausverkauft, ja, alle wollen aufs Land. Das sieht man hier auch, dass sich das ein bisschen entzerrt und das macht natürlich auch Sinn, ja, weil viele der Firmen ja auch in Remote-Setups arbeiten und die Leute auch teilweise in die Regionen zurückgehen. Wir haben natürlich einige der Zentren hier, auch Nischni Novgorod, ganz interessant, auch relativ leicht erreichbar an der Wolga, hier 4 Stunden von Moskau, Novosibirsk ein bisschen weiter, sehr starkes Technikcenter in Sibirien, Tatarstan, Kasan, die Hauptstadt von Tatarstan, Sverdlovsk. Also da geht wirklich einiges. Ganz interessant, wir hatten im Sommer eine Delegationsreise. Wir als AHK organisieren für das Markterschließungsprogramm des ehemaligen BMWI, Bundeswirtschaftsministeriums, jetzt der BMWK, Reisen zu verschiedenen Themen für Mittelständler. Und da hatten wir zum ersten Mal im Sommer eine Reise zum Thema IT, und zwar Mobile Gaming. Das heißt, Entwickler, deutsche Spieleentwickler haben wir nach Russland gebracht, um dort neue Absatzmärkte zu finden. Dachten wir. Am Ende war das eine spannende Reise, wo eigentlich der Fokus drauf lag, wirklich auf Sourcing. Ja, also wo wirklich die deutschen Firmen natürlich ein Interesse hatten, ihre Produkte hier dementsprechend zu promoten und auch Partner zu finden. Aber das Thema Sourcing stand definitiv an vorderster Front. Und das war natürlich für uns auch eine interessante Erkenntnis. Und gerade zwei der Firmen auch haben auch schon starke Ambitionen, auch schon Kooperationen geschlossen, vor allem in Nischni Novgorod. Ja, also auch interessant. Aber wie gesagt, wir sprechen ja heute zum Thema Moskau. Moskau ist ganz klar hier auf Platz 1. Hier gibt es die größten Firmen, hier gibt es die meisten IT-Entwickler. Moskau ist immer noch eine Stadt, wir haben es ja gehört, die größte Stadt in Europa, die ein unglaubliches Anziehungspotenzial hat. Das kann man einfach nicht anders sagen. Ja, und ich lebe seit mittlerweile 6 Jahren in Moskau. Ich kann es auch verstehen, es ist einfach auch eine tolle Stadt. Ja, das Gute ist zum einen, wir als AHK beschäftigen uns natürlich viel mit auch harten Themen wie Import, Export, vor allem auch im Bereich klassischer Mittelstand, Maschinenbau etc. Das Gute ist natürlich im Bereich IT, fällt das alles weg. Wir können Sachen durch die Datenleitung schicken. Und das hat natürlich auch der russische Staat erkannt und versucht, die Digitalwirtschaft hier wirklich massiv zu fördern. Und das ist einfach toll. Also Moskau nimmt auch, wir haben jetzt auch unsere letzte Quartalszeitschrift der AHK, nennt sich Impuls, die würde ich gerne auch mal in den Chat posten. Head-Artikel Boomtown Moskau, ja, wo wir auch wirklich darüber berichten, wie digital Moskau auch schon geworden ist und wie der Staat da auch wirklich unterstützt. Also im Bereich staatliche digitale Verwaltung, ja, Infrastruktur, digitale Technologien im öffentlichen Raum, das ist einfach eine andere Nummer. Also wenn Russen teilweise auch und Moskauer nach Deutschland kommen, nach Berlin kommen, sind sie teilweise etwas konsterniert, wie altbacken das doch teilweise ist. Und der Staat hat eine Roadmap im Bereich des nationalen Projekts Digitale Wirtschaft, wo man bis 2024 noch besser werden will. Ich habe einige der Sachen hier auch aufgelistet. Also da geht es um Breitbandinternet. Ja, da geht es um 5G, da geht es darum, die IT-Absolventenzahl zu steigern. Das ist natürlich wirklich sehr ambitioniert auch an der Stelle, aber dementsprechend unterfüttert. Wenn wir jetzt einen makroökonomischen Vortrag halten würden, würde ich erwähnen, dass Russland wirklich genügend Reserven hat, ja, trotz vielleicht der teilweise schwierigen wirtschaftlichen Situation. Also über 600 Milliarden Devisenreserven, da steht Russland auf Platz 6 weltweit. Das heißt, man hat wirklich auch Geld, dass man bewusst und ganz gezielt auch in diese Projekte investiert. Ja, und was sie natürlich auch in Russland haben, und das erstaunt auch viele deutsche Unternehmen, die vielleicht auch zum ersten Mal ihren Weg nach Russland wagen, man hat hier ziemlich viele digitale Champions und eine digitale Infrastruktur und ein Environment, das eben halt wirklich sich ganz grundsätzlich unterscheidet von allem anderen, was man hat. Wenn man jetzt vielleicht mal China und Indien außer Acht lässt, aber überall Google und weiß ich nicht was. Und hier ist es halt eben Digital Champions. Im Bereich E-Commerce hat man eben nicht Amazon, sondern Ozone und Wildberries zum Beispiel. Im Bereich Food Delivery hat man andere Player hier am Start mit Delivery Club statt Delivery Hero. Und wir haben natürlich Yandex statt Google als wirklich Top-Player hier und mit einem ähnlichen breiten Portfolio wie auch Google. Also Yandex ist ja wirklich in vielen Schichten unterwegs und wird da dementsprechend auch unterstützt. Sourcing of Ideas. Ja, was tut die AHK, um sie zu unterstützen? Ich habe schon angedeutet, dass wir im Prinzip wirklich auch dem Mittelstand helfen, hier Fuß zu fassen, auch im Bereich IT. Wir tun das als Dienstleistungsunternehmen, wir tun es aber auch durch unsere verschiedenen Initiativen. Delegationsreisen, die ich schon erwähnt habe, die alle unter dem Dach firmieren GRID, German Russian Initiative for Digitalization. Wenn Sie da auch noch Fragen haben, würde ich in den Chat auch noch Informationen posten. Stehen wir gerne für Sie bereit und lohnt sich immer bei uns auch Mitglied zu werden und sich aktiv einzubringen. Wir sind sehr stark auch im Bereich Lobbying unterwegs, haben verschiedene Arbeitsgruppen zum Thema Digitalisierung, Cybersicherheit zum Beispiel, Marketing, Datentechnologien. Ein Thema, das seit einem Jahr uns wirklich stark begleitet, ist, dass wir natürlich versuchen, auch Mehrwert zu schaffen. Sourcing ist gut, ja, aber noch besser ist natürlich, wenn man gemeinsame Sache macht und aus beiden Welten das Beste zusammenbringt. Und was wir versuchen, ist beispielsweise, dass wir russische Start-ups versuchen, mit deutschen Konzernen und Firmen zu matchen, ja, weil wir das Gefühl haben, dass vielleicht russische Startups nicht bei allen Unternehmen gleich sozusagen aufpoppen. Ja, da muss ich auch mal nach Russland gucken, was da an Innovation da ist. Ist vielleicht auch ein bisschen schwierig manchmal aufgrund der Sprachbarriere. Russland ist ja auch wirklich ein sehr großes Land. Ja, und da gucken wir, mein Kollege Thomas Neumann ist hier mit am Start, der das bei uns kuratiert. Und ansonsten bieten wir, weil wir eine bilaterale Kammer sind, die deutsch-russische Auslandshandelskammer, helfen wir auch russischen Startups, sich in Deutschland anzusiedeln. Das ist auch wirklich ein tolles, großes Thema. Und es gibt wirklich einige Startups natürlich, die einfach Technologieleader sind und die einfach Produkte haben, die die Welt sehen muss. Und die müssen wir identifizieren, gemeinsam mit unseren Partnern auch. Einige der Partner sind ja auch heute hier. Und nochmal danke für die Einladung. Und dass man das bekannter macht und dass man da den wachsenden Champions da eine Chance gibt, sich zu präsentieren. Genau, ich habe eine Kontaktperson hier auch angefügt. Hier haben wir den Fjodor, der bei uns das Thema betreut. Ich weiß jetzt nicht, habe ich das letzte Slide? Ja, danke, an mich können Sie sich auch gerne wenden. Ich habe noch ein Thema und vielleicht so ein kleines Gedankenspiel. Basically, if I have still around like 3 minutes, I would like to switch off my presentation. I can also switch to English, and I will stop sharing my virtual screen. Stop my presentation. Okay. Am I still pinned and can you see me full screen? That's the first question. Yeah.
Yes, we could see you, Hannes.
Well, basically, one of the essentials when I was talking about sourcing, and I was talking to companies basically from all over the world who sought for IT talent in Eastern Europe. As I mentioned, it was always a talk about availability. We learned actually that there is good availability across all technologies in Russia. We talked about costs. Costs are a bit higher, I would say, than when you compare to India or to China. But if you compare to the soft factors like, let's say, time difference, complete other topic, yeah, I would say intercultural differences, it's much easier actually. And what we also talked about always was like perceived productivity. And maybe it helps you when you consider basically an outsourcing or a sourcing setup to think about the following. Yeah? If you basically consider productivity and you think you're doing a real good job, you know, in your business, then you would say when it comes to costs and when it comes to productivity, and you have a setup, let's say in Berlin, can you see that? Yeah. You would say like basically my cost basis in Berlin is of course like at 100%, right? So I have a good idea about what it costs to hire personnel to maintain it, yeah. And I'm trying my best because I see the guys, I talk to them, they are from my culture. I kind of selected them. So my productivity here is like 100%, right? So we have like costs here and productivity. And then many of the companies, they don't have a choice but to search for an outsourcing engagement. And then they might consider, for instance, something, let's say Asia Pacific, or another location where, and this is really true, and we need to be very honest, costs are much lower. So I would say, I mean, this is an internal study that we made, but generally I would say costs are, let's say, maybe in Vietnam or in China, maybe like, let's say 40% of the costs in Germany, right? No, well, not 40, maybe, what is it, 50, okay, 50. But the interesting thing, and then you compare it like to, let's say, Russia, yeah? And well, in Russia, you're a bit higher, right? When you are at 50 here, you might be at 70 here. So to hire a software developer, let's say with all the costs included, you need a service provider or a project outsourcing. It's cheaper, of course, but basically the cost base is a bit higher than if you go to Asia Pacific. Yeah, but the interesting thing that you need to really consider is the productivity. And as I mentioned, there's several factors that make it just easier. Yeah. At least when you consider, for instance, Moscow, I mean, there is direct flights. It's very easy to communicate. You don't have much time difference. It's like 1 hour in summer, 2 hours now, two hours now in winter. Many developers speak a very, very good English, for instance, right? So this is really an important thing you need to consider. And we actually helped our clients also to build like setups around agile management, etc. Then you need to be honest to yourself. And what we actually found, that the productivity, of course, is a bit lower, yeah, but we found it across our base for like 200 clients. The perceived productivity of our clients was 60%. And when we looked at our setup, because we had a setup in Pakistan, yeah, the perceived productivity was 40%, okay? And then when you do a little bit of mathematics, my TH is not so good, then you would basically divide the perceived costs by the perceived productivity, and then minus it by the real productivity, and then you come and end up with an overhead cost. So basically, I would encourage you, if you consider any outsourcing, any sourcing question, to really at the beginning be honest and true to yourself. What do you want? How complex do you want to go? What do you want to build? What do you want to outsource to another person? What do you want to insource? And then also think about how much time you are ready to invest in your team or in the partnership that you have to build a productive environment. But what I can say from my experience is basically that you have a very good chance to maintain very stable and good ties with your engagement here in Russia. And when we basically, as an organization, as AHK, start these environments, we are very, very much interested in actually building these productive environments. Yeah, my boss back then in my company always said, we are not selling bums on seats. So basically, wir verkaufen keine Penner auf Stühlen, sondern wir versuchen wirklich über den strukturierten Dialog, we try to have a structured dialogue with our clients to build productive setups. And that's also what the Svetlana said before, right? That Moscow and the institutions that we have here, we are very interested in accompanying companies that are coming here, let's say as a one-stop shop from the first idea, like from testing, from maintaining, from problem solving, to, and this is not excluded, of course, to product development here on site. And at the end of the day, maybe to also find markets here, Russia, we are talking about EAWU, Eurasian Economic Union, for instance, with Kazakhstan, with Belarus. This is also a topic. Yeah? So a lot of opportunities. Maybe I'm a bit over time, But thank you very much. We still have time for like Q&As. My colleagues are also here to answer your questions. And yeah, thank you.
Yeah, Hannes, thank you. Yeah, we got some question actually regarding like the presentation. There were information about digital program in Russia. If I just could ask you to revise for our attendants from Russia a little bit about this program in English, because there was a specific question about that.
Sure. So what I said, we have different initiatives basically that support on the one hand Russian startups that have cool products, yeah, or services, and that who want to enter the German market, or via the German market they want to conquer the European continent. Yeah, and this is something where we are working together also with SIBB, with you guys, with the Chamber of Commerce, with the representation in Berlin specifically, yeah, very closely. We are doing events. We are bringing Russian startups on delegation travels. Like there is different startup events and conferences in Germany. Like one is like Startup Village, or I remember actually 2 years ago, the Tech Crunch that you might know, the biggest tech fair in the world. They had a guest visit in Berlin. We were bringing like 5 startups there, presenting them and their solutions. We are trying to be the glue and to use our contact network. And this is, of course, not trivial, because we are part of the network with the local IHKs, the local chambers of commerce in Germany, that are represented in each of the German region, and they have a very, very good insight into the local markets. So we can also understand from the beginning what kind of region and what kind of like topic would be relevant actually to for having a good match. So this is the one side, and the other side is that we are trying, because we are a member organization, and many or most of the biggest companies, German companies, and a lot of small companies, there are members, and we are trying to match them with Russian startups here. Yeah, so for instance, I don't know, if Volkswagen is looking for innovative solutions in different areas of production, we would partner with them and look for prospective startups in Russia and the regions and match them. Yeah. But it's like classical startup scouting, basically.
Here among attendants, we also have some representatives from Russian businesses. What would be your message to them? How could they interact with AHK?
Well, if they are today in Moscow, I would say come today at 7 o'clock to Hyatt Ararat. There is our quarterly meeting of our members, and we'll have a chat and a glass of wine, and we'll see what interesting contacts might be there to talk immediately. And if not, just contact us and let's see what we can do together. So when it comes to classical business, we are of course helping to find like distributors in Germany, for instance. And when it comes to like the startup sphere, then this is what I described basically. We are trying to combine the best sides of the two countries, especially in our German-Russian initiative for digitalization. This is of course the strong side of Russian IT with like, I don't know, cybersecurity, fintech, a very, very strong emphasis on services, together with the German strengths of like Industry 4.0, for instance, robotization, etc. Yeah? So this is our remit.
Okay. Time is almost up. Let us know if there are any further questions to Farlock. And if there are no questions, I guess we could proceed with individual questions in networking session. Okay, as I see there are no questions at the moment. So yeah, let me tell you what's going to be to happen next. At this point of time, you mostly randomly allocated to 4 breakout sessions. So each each of speakers today would have their own breakout session room, like Chamber of Commerce and Industry in Russia, Moscow Digital Innovation, and DeepTechHub Russland. And also there will be one room of SIBB. You will be open between switching the rooms. They'll be active for around 12-15 minutes. And at the meantime, I would like to ask you to make your Zoom meeting full screen, to turn on your microphones and video cameras. And most important, you will now have some button in the middle of the screen that will guide you to the breakout sessions. So I start the sessions. And you are now invited to join individual breakout sessions. And I'm going to see you in our breakout room. With all that, I would like to proceed with some closing remarks for today's event. And after that, the session will be active for some time. So if you have any further questions, you are free to discuss them with each other. And I hope you got today an introduction to the Moscow economics. And I would like to thank again, first Suren Vardanyan for pointing out how developed and big the Moscow economy and how much Moscow has to offer for European and actually global businesses. I want to thank Svetlana for telling about almost 150 pilots that already happened in Moscow and how much is going to happen, and expressing all the interest of Moscow in scouting for new projects. And of course, I would like to thank Hannes for providing an overview of the sourcing possibilities and pointing out the benefits of working with Russian IT companies. So dear experts from Russia, we thank you a lot for joining us for today's session. And I encourage all the businesses that have been with us today to get into contact with these organizations, also to get into contact with us, because within our project, we try to accelerate and help you to get multipliers, tech partners, and actually expand your business to Russia. Some technical remarks. We will have recording of today's event published on our association channel. So in case you want to revise or revisit some information, you'll be able to do so. And we also have a newsletter of our events. So I just take this moment to invite you to sign up for our newsletter if you would like to have more events together with us. And we are going to have more, definitely more activities this spring and summer on the Russian direction, so stay tuned.